everybody. Well, I'm out in the solarium because I have the orchids. Most of the orchids moved out here. I did that about a week ago because I watered last Wednesday out here. And and so I thought, well, I'll sit out here because outside it's kind of overcast, but it's about, I don't know, 78 degrees out there. And I have all the windows open in here, and it's really quite nice. I like this room on rainy days. In the summer, even though it's all glass, we do have a shade cloth that was from the gazebo, but it still stays nice because it's on the north side of the house. And we're protected by part of the house on this west side where a lot of the heat comes from. So I decided I'm going to repot this Miltassia Charles Marden. Now I have had this since June 11th, 2021. I actually dated it. If I could give any newcomers advice that I didn't take, when you get a little tag, or even if you don't have a tag, if it's a no ID, put a date on it. You can even continue dates of repotting or keep track on your cell phone or a book. But I have never been much at doing that, although I should. It's just my personality, I guess. So I'm going to take this little guy because when I put the Miltassia in here, the roots weren't very big, and it didn't feel like it was seeded very good. So it was loose. So I usually stick something heavy on top if you have an orchid that's not sitting good of any kind. The weight, I learned from a lady named Edna Colness, because when Rosemary was about 4 and I was running water taxi on Vancouver Island, we had a whole steep rock face facing the water plants. And at that age, I didn't know that much about plants, but she said, if you want to keep those crawlers growing, put a rock on it. And I find out all over the years it does work. So that's one reason I do that. So what I'm going to do first, and just wait, after I do this, I want to show you a close-up of the orchids up here. And it's Wednesday will be watering day, and today's Sunday. And then just a few that I left inside and why I left them. And also my beautiful yellow peonies and how my vegetables are doing after. So we better get busy. Now I brought this bowl here just so that I can dump the bark in, because I have ordered bark from Buckerfields, who I always ordered my huge big bag of Rexius bark, and I asked for large, and I don't know if I'll get large, but I said if I can't get large, I'll take medium again. But as you know, I've been complaining it's a little on the small side, but I asked them the other day when we were in for some chicken feed or something, and they said the small bark came in, but not the big bark or something like that. So let's see, it's been in here a long time. And this is an old cup Jack drilled holes in. So there was 1 on the bottom and 3 on the sides. So now if you had a glass pot, when you put your orchids in a glass pot, it's very similar to an orchid pot because we're drilling holes. So if you figure how many holes your orchid pot has that you have a plant in, and you want to do the same. So this one didn't have many holes, and I didn't have any cork in it, which I put for added airspace. And Wednesday was watering day, and actually this is still very damp. And because my bark isn't here yet, I am going to use the same bark, and it looks fine. It's been in there a long time, but when you grow in bark and you grow on the dry side more, well, what happens is the bark doesn't deteriorate as fast as if it's wet all the time. I'm going to show you a close-up of the roots. They look good. Nothing looks rotten. You know, oh, maybe some of these very top ones, they're kind of coming off, but I'm going to show you a close-up. Now, there's a whole bunch of little pieces of bark, and I had some charcoal in here to help keep it sweet, but some of that is stuck to the roots too. So let's show you close. There we go. So there's the roots. They look fine. They're small, but all the latest, I never had, this is the only thing like this I had. I had, Rosary had just got me all those oncidiums, which I'm loving, and I did put them in glass orchid pots. I am happy with how well they're growing, and they are in bark and wine corks. So I'm going to put them back in a glass vase, because when I show you the roots from those ones and the plants themselves, they're doing way better in this one. Now, I don't know why. If you are just changing from having your orchids in a regular orchid pot and changing to a glass pot, make sure watering day, before you water, take the whole orchid out of that pot, check and see if it needs it. Just make sure that in the glass you're not overwatering or underwatering, because if your plant starts to look sad, it can be either one of those things causing a problem till they're used to the glass. Now, I'm still doing my watering schedule the same, but when I first started and just put bark in my glass pots, and I don't know why, they seemed too moist, and I blamed the small bark. I'm not happy with the small bark. So the only thing I could do was add the wine corks, and it made the world of a difference and solved the problem to get some air from the holes in there. So other than that, that's one suggestion I make if you're just trying it out, just to get your watering schedule and how the moisture's traveling, because I am liking them. So I'm just going to take this pot and shove it aside in this little guy. I'm going to put the bark here. It's definitely damp, and Wednesday's watering day, so I would say this orchid pot has been holding the water. It was quite big for the size of the plant, but all this bark is moist, so I would say it probably wouldn't even need watered on Wednesday, but it was going to get it anyway because I've been doing this for a long time. I mean, it's not rotten, but probably not quite great either. Okay, we know that. So this is the pot I'm going to use. I think it's going to look very nice in there, and I think it's going to be happier. So I probably have to put cork up fairly high because the roots are small, and it doesn't need a lot of bark in the bottom. So I have one hole in the bottom and 3 holes in the side, the same as the pot it was in. So let's put some wine corks in there. I don't want to use it all in the bottom. I might put a little bit of bark, not much. Not much. I'm probably going to need some more cork. I'll have to. Now, I definitely need some more cork because I won't do this. So you know what? I'm going to just shut this off for 1 minute and I'm going to go get some. It's up in the gazebo. And better safe than sorry. So we'll just shut this off for a minute. There we go. I keep my, oops, just a minute. I better just fix one thing so I can see if you can see. Not that I can see when you're sitting somewhere with a camera out in the light. It is, in fact, maybe this should be down some. Yeah, maybe. We'll move it down a little. Okay. Okay. That should do it. There, is that better? I think that's better. Okay, so I keep my big bags bark in the gazebo and my wine corks, which whenever I see these at the thrift store, a bag of these for $2, I nab them. Because I have found that when I've checked the pots when I first was starting, the wine corks actually get moist, so they do help with humidity. They're not staying dry, but not over, in time. Don't use those real little ones because they break down fast, but these will not break down as fast. And price is certainly right. It helps offset the price of bark. So now I'm going to hold it about where I want it. I'm going to put a little bit of bark in. It's the same bark, so it's not going from moss to mark. It'll know it's in the same bark, so that is not going to be an issue. Did I push record? Let me just check. I think I did. But think. Did I? Yeah, I did. Oh dear. Okay. There. Sometimes, I don't know, you have to think, did I do that? We went and visited Mom for about 45 minutes today, and she'd been knitting, but she had this great big ball of wool. I took her this black one a while ago because she loves knitting scarves, and then we donate them to the thrift store in the winter. And she, somehow, they have one lady that's, her dementia's probably the worst, the ladies that are with her, and there's only 6 ladies in her area. And she wanders around in rooms and she doesn't know what she's doing and she picks up things, but it's a very home environment, so they let them do that. And if you don't want someone in your room, if you can lock your door, but you have to still be remembering how to open and lock the door. But Mom usually leaves her door open, and I think someone came in and played with her wool, and it was all in knots. So Jack and I sat there for 45 minutes getting out all the knots. Oh dear. I did take her some other wool too so she could keep going because she loves knitting. Now, when I get to the top, I do not, now if I had a phalaenopsis, I'd probably put a wine cork right in the center of the monopodial stem. Excuse me. But because this isn't like that and the roots are all the same, I'm not doing that. So once you get to the top, you don't have to add as many, you don't have to add the wine corks because your air is going to travel quite fine. And I will water it Wednesday. Now it's way narrower than the pot it was in. I think it may dry quicker, so it'll probably, when I start watering twice a day, when the heat's really up, and it has been hot, but then it will get that too. It will get treated the same as the rest. Sometimes I may just miss the tops. If I have time and I'm in, I should go do it. It's not something I head off to do right away. So, quite often I get it in and then I pull up a tiny little bit. There. So I'm going to have some extra bark, so I'll be able to show you how it looks. But no, it's quite fine. It is damp, but it's not mushy or... There's nothing in there. Now, if I had moss in there and was watering like that, then I would have had a problem. So this I'll leave to clean up later because we got little trips to take. And I think this will be just perfect. Just perfect. And maybe something will happen because it's just been kind of sitting lifeless. Okay. So I'm going to get up and we're going to have a little tour. What's going on? There's always things going on. So first I got to get this out of here safely. Okay. Move my hand. I don't want there. Now we should be safe. Okay, so there's a close-up. There. And over here, this is the bark, and you can see it's quite dark. And so there is some black. Every once in a while I used to put something different in, but there's a little bit of small black lava rock in there, not much. Probably didn't do it much. So that will be going now. I'm going to show you where I have the orchids. I have them over here. And what happens is when you look this way, this is the east. This is the morning sun. Now it's a little cloudy up there, but not too bad. So in the morning, they are getting a nice amount of sun. I have this shade down because I don't want the sun shining directly on the glass pots because glass will heat up. So I'm not doing that, but they are getting lots of light. Plus, the ceiling has a shade cloth that came with our greenhouse and we didn't use. So I sewed up some holes in it and where the windows were on the roof. And we put it up here and it's been perfect. So this way, these ones are not curtained because I let the light come in. And so they get lots of reflected light. So on the top, I'm going to let you have a look. So these got watered out here on Wednesday, but look up here. This one here has blossomed again, and I come up a step, and it has a spike over there, so it has two. These were out on the patio last year, and I moved this rack. It was more at the very end, but I think the shade is better this way. And this one here has a new one opening, so they've been way cooler at night than in the house, but nice and warm in the day. And when it rains, they get a little more humidity here. So, whoops. So this one was November 5th, 2021. It had fell mini-mart. It had never flowered till I put it in the glass. And besides, it had never flowered. It did flower this last winter, but now it even has a bigger spike. This is its second spike. And you can see the roots, and I watered Wednesday. And that's one thing, you can see what's going on. Plus, because they're green, that shows you they are photosynthesizing. And that energy is going to the plant for growth. So, and this is Georgia Pearl. Can I move her? Okay, let's move her around for a minute. There's Georgia Pearl, and her roots are looking good in there too. There's some nice growth. Now up here, if you look, I do not worry this stays dry. Some days I will mist, maybe once, and real hot, maybe twice a day. But it's not something I have been doing lately. And I still have a couple flowers. Oh, just a minute. Right in here I see scale. I always, when I water, check for these things and take them off. They do like the flowers and they will come up. So I always watch the backs of my flowers on watering day, but I did miss there. Okay, so, and here we have another one that seems to be doing quite well. You can see I did like that. I put more corks in the bottom. The roots are looking good. There is some moss in there because I did change these from moss to bark, but I didn't pick off the moss that was on the roots. I left it. So look at this. Yeah, they seem to love them, and I'm noticing more. I couldn't see in before. This one has been moved outside. Look, I just love these little ones. And the dendrobium that flowered was in full flower when I got it. It flowered too, and now it flowered some more. Look. Just beautiful. Okay, I might have trouble getting back here to the oncidium because I'm really crowded. But down here, some of the older roots aren't quite as green, but they are doing, whenever you see the green, now even if you have plastic, it's the same thing. But what I like about the glass is you don't have to put it in something else because it's got enough weight on its own to hold the orchid safely. So that's what else is going on here. And then I have, this one was in flower late in the winter. 3 flowers here. It's just in a, this is a terracotta I painted the outside of. And this, now you can get a real good look at this. This is my phalaenopsis that either got wet in here and the water never got out and it rotted, but it was in full bloom. It had all its leaves 2-3 years ago now, and it had also had a big fall when the carpenters was here, so I didn't know if that was old damage. But I went to water it one day and all the leaves came off in a big group, and that was it. I was very upset, but I loved the flowers so much I thought, no, I'm going to try and wait for a basil keiki, and that's what I got growing in there. And so these are 2 big leaves of the basil keiki and a new one coming. So I'm still keeping the plant, and the last 2 leaves still stayed on. So, and so this one's getting a new leaf in a traffic cone, and this one's just in a terracotta pot. Now when you see your roots like this, they're still happily growing. They're not as green because they're in the air, but you can miss those. Don't go watering extra water because down the bottom it doesn't need it, but you can miss those. Now here's the oncidiums. So they seem quite happy. They have new shoots. This is one new shoot. Over in there is a new shoot. So that's why I like the glass. But like you say, don't let that direct sun. And when you see they don't photosynthesize, as you can see, the roots stay white, but the little tips are bright green. The little tips of them, see? And they do seem happy. So it's just a learning process all the time. But I have switched almost all of mine. I got a couple more to go, but they are definitely switching. So now we're going to go in the house, and then we're going to come back outside. And I'll show you what's left in here. This time of year when the orchids come out is when I wash windows. So I haven't washed windows yet, but this window is empty. And this is our north window. And this window I've left. This is one of my oldest orchids. It's in a regular orchid pot. It is going on glass. I found one at a garage sale, and it's still so beautiful. It lost one. But this has been in bloom all winter. I should take that off. So it's been in bloom all winter. It has some scale on it too, I can see. I need to clean. I'm always hunting every watering day, but they love the flowers, and if you see little spots, then you know what they are. So I have one orchid left here. Okay. And here I have the last one that had 4 spikes. It's doing really well. Put it in glass. And they came bark, but if you remember this one, the roots were not good. The leaves seem okay, but I did lose 2 buds here. And other than that, we got 1 opening, and I think it'll be happier now. And this is the first orchid I ever put in glass. It was over 1.5 years when I decided to keep doing more. And this is a west window, why I have the blinds there. And it's been flowering it flowered all winter on the stem I left on from last year. It flowered a whole bunch of flowers as much as this, and got a second branch, and it finished, and then it shot up a new spike, even though it did all that. So there. Now we're gonna. That's all I got left inside. Now we're going to head out to look at the garden and my vegetables. So, pardon me, my nose is running for some reason. Just get a cloth. There. Okay. The chickens are all laying out in the grass. We're going to move that very soon. We keep moving it so they always have fresh grass. They're happy. They love to get out there. Even in the rain, because it has a top on it. So over here, we have, this is a Korean lilac, and when you come in and out the door, it smells beautiful. That's a Korean lilac. And there's some pink peonies over here. And there's the chickens. They're all laying down, except for one got up. Okay, now over here, there's the yellow peonies. We had a real rain and windstorm, and it was unreal, and the flowerlets just came off, but there's still new ones coming. And they're pretty beautiful. Hummingbirds love the red one, and I forget the name of it. So this is my only real garden, and that one, and now they're definitely low work. Okay, let's go inside the greenhouse first. We've been eating a couple strawberries once in a while, that's all, but there better be a whole bunch for my birthday. Okay, there's one there. There's one here. This one is going to, what we do when we get one is we cut it in half. And we both, whatever we get, we split. But I that's why I've got so many strawberries. There's some more coming here. There's a funny one in there. Oh, we might get there. And then over here I got flowers on the tomatoes. These are some that I'm trying inside. They came up first. So they're getting bigger. And I will prune the bottom leaves when I get around to it. And here we have melons, cantaloupes, and some things I'm going to dry and do tea with, right? Okay. And then I have some tomatoes plants left. If anybody lives near me and you want them, come and get them. Just let me know. Send me an email. You can have them free. Okay. Okay, so then I planted them outside, and they've been through rains and storms. So these are the Roma tomatoes. These are the Brandywine. They look very different. The leaves are very different. These are the Brandywine, and they have nice blossoms. But see the leaves? There is a big difference. They're a kind of a meatier, fruitier tomato, so I like them for eating. And then here I have the beefsteak. This is beefsteak. And I like them for canning. I like to can any of my extra tomatoes go for tomato because we have tomato sauce. And then I have this little thing here for cucumbers to grow over. And in between I plant radishes or carrots. Even between the tomatoes I will put baby carrots. But I have been eating some broccoli in my salad. As soon as they get about this high, I end up chopping them off, and then they sprout more from the sides. So we have been getting that. And down here I have some Brussels sprouts. I'm only going to let a few of the real healthy ones grow. And then over here I have head lettuce in that isn't doing anything. And these are, in the greenhouse I have, everbearing, but these are ones that just are supposed to have strawberries for June, so this should really help. And we've been eating a lot of lettuce, even the chickens get the rooting. And then this is like kind for Caesar salad. There's two kinds. So we have been eating that, and we ate all the radishes from in there. So it is easier, you know. Even big pots, it's so much easier. And this is what we want. We want easy. There's a look at the sky. It's been stormy off and on. I've been limping around. Oh, yeah. We'll go look over the other side. Okay. Okay, I got a few pots I have not planted over here. This is a cherry tomato. This is one I bought, and it was smaller. It's been growing fast. Rapunzel, gorgeous cascading fruit. So that's cherry tomatoes, great for salads. It's doing good. And of course it gets not much sun till the sun, because this is the east, but the sun gets around up here, and so that's when they get their sun. And a red pepper, and I can't remember what I put here. If that is melon, I think it's melon. Could be some cantaloupe, it could be a squash. I'm not sure. We'll find out. And over here, everything's going to die off. So thanks for joining me today, and have a wonderful weekend. We did. Bye for now.